And then remember that when you have a job, job stands for just over broke.
Because if you do not collect assets, I promise you, you will be broke. I don't care how much money you make. I know surgeons that make $1 million a year and they're broke because they burn through all their money and they don't collect assets. Thou shalt provide an income for those days when you can no longer work. This is basically talking about retirement and how you want to do that.
Hello and welcome to the Edgar and Allen Not Poe Show. I'm your host, Edgar the Connector, and co-host, we have Mr. Allen, Mr. Financial Foster.
I love that. It makes me sound like I'm somebody important. The financial.
Hey, I heard somebody was listening to one of your episodes that we had on the podcast, Dream Start Own, and he says, man, that guy knows what he's talking about. So, hey, if that person believed it, you're just talking good stuff. So we're doing a play on Edgar Allan Poe. Poe is another word for, it's slang kind of for poor. And so we're doing a play on words with that. And for this Poe, profit over excuses. We're doing plan, own, elevate, and also the poetry of economics. And here we're going to go where finances get poetic. So, Mr. Allen.
Yeah.
Commandment number 7 of wealth.
Commandment number 7 of wealth is kind of like your end game for all the things that you've been doing your whole life. It's basically thou shalt provide an income for those days when you can no longer work. And this is basically talking about retirement and how you want to do that. And this is the official accumulation of assets. Because if you do not collect assets, I promise you, you will be broke. I don't care how much money you make. I know surgeons that make $1 million a year and they're broke because they burn through all their money and they don't collect assets. I know people who make 1/10 of what a surgeon makes and they are wealthier than that surgeon because they collect assets. And at first, the assets will be very small because you don't have a lot of money and you may have to partner with people, but eventually you will grow your wealth tree. And the idea is that those assets will provide income every month. Every single month or every quarter, depending on what you're getting these income streams. So it could be from dividends, rents, it could be from interest on bonds, it could be royalties from agreements that you've had to do, or maybe you wrote a book and people are going to pay you royalties on your sales. Whatever it is, those income streams are in place for when you're too old to trade your time for money. And when I say too old to trade your time for money, I'm not talking about just working. I mean, obviously, Edgar, you're in the same boat I am. We're entrepreneurs, so we don't work for other people. But at some point, we'll get to an age where we can't do what we do anymore. We just cannot. Our bodies are too old. Our healthcare costs are high. And we have to figure out a way to fund our life so that it's still comfortable and we don't have to worry about money. Most people in their 50s, 60s even, or somewhere, my age is 57, 58, just turned 58. People like me, most people don't even have $50,000 saved up, and that is just, I hear that number and I said, those folks are going to be in a real world of hurt because they're still going to be working well into their 70s. But the good news is they can change the math to start buying more assets now. And just start the sooner you start the wealth tree, the better. It just needs time and energy to build it. And for most people, the best place to start if you don't have a lot of money is just buy simple stocks that pay dividends. And you can build up that money that way. And as you increase your income over time, because you've improved your ability to earn, which is the first rule, the first commandment of money, you can start then taking more money and using it to buy assets. And those assets will pay your expenses. In the beginning, your earnings are paying for your expenses. But more towards the end, your assets will be paying for your expenses. and less of your time is needed to pay for expenses. And there is a number that I use, number is 1.5. When you have enough assets that pay 1.5 times your monthly expenses, you're good. And the reason I pick 1.5 is because a lot of people forget there's other expenses on top of their expense. I mean, if you have a job and you're getting paid a salary or just wages, hourly wages, there's other fees that are in there that you're not accounting as income. Like you may have to pay health insurance, and your company is covering part of that health insurance cost for you. That's income. Your company is paying 1/2 of your Social Security tax and 1/2 of your Medicare tax for you. Well, that's income, because if you were doing that, you would have to pay that, not your company. So a lot of that is you have to calculate all those numbers into your 1.5 number. So once you get to 1.5, and just a basic, give you, say, your monthly expenses, and you believe will be in 20 years from now when you retire, 40 years, wherever that number is. And I'll just give a hypothetical monthly expense, say $5,000. I know that's low, but just for simple math, $5,000. That's your monthly expense. When you have enough passive income coming in, whether you sleep all day, play video games all day, or just walk in your garden all day, or read books, or go do whatever hobby it is you want to go fishing, whatever you want to do with your day, no matter what happens, $7,500 comes into your account every month. Boom, hits your account without you doing anything. You don't have to think about it. Just boom, shows up. And I want to be clear about this. Do not count properties that you manage, because that's active. You have to actively collect the rents. You have to actively fix the toilets. You have to actively write checks. I'm talking about investments that you don't do anything. Nothing. You can invest in syndications. You can invest in stocks that pay dividends. You can buy bonds that pay interest. There's all sorts of things you can do to generate income passively. And passive income is treated differently than active income. And for one, and this is why this is important, that passive income is not taxed by Social Security tax and Medicare tax. It's not touched. Income tax, yes, but not Social Security tax and not Medicare tax. When you go to work and you work for $50 an hour, and then you get a paycheck, the federal government takes an immediate 7.6% tax of your revenue right out the gate. Just right out the gate. Take it, because they say it's theirs. And then you take your deductions, and whatever's left over, you have to pay tax on that. So right out the gate, the government gets a cut. And if you're self-employed, well, they're taking 15.5. I think it's 15.6 or something like that. I forget the exact percentage, or 15.4. I'm sure there's people that'll put it in your chat. Hey, dummy, it's this. But anyway, you'll have to pay that straight to the federal government. They take that first before you take any deductions. So passive income is not subject to that tax as of the current Imperial Revenue Code. So that could always change. That could always change because we seem to be shifting more of a socialist agenda in our country. And I am a born capitalist. I will always be a born capitalist. I will never change my stance. I believe capitalism is the best antidote for a bad economy. It's when socialism creeps in, it destroys wealth because the government wastes so much money. And if you think we live in a capitalist society right now, we don't. We live in a socialist. And we have been a socialist country for over 80 years. And it gets progressively more socialist with each election. And the government takes more and more money and appropriates more and more money and institutes more and more controls and destroys wealth that way. Capitalism is the exact opposite. It's a free market system. Allocation of resources, how you spend your money is the best way to spend your money, not the government spending it for you. And, that's just, it's not efficient. But buying these assets for your retirement, because you will be too old at some point to make money. It's just going to happen. It's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to all your listeners. It's don't make the assumption you're always going to be the same person throughout your entire life. You're going to get older. Your knees are going to hurt when you get up in the morning. You're going to require more sleep throughout the day. I will always advocate for great health so you can live a long, healthy life. So you're not requiring a bedpan in a hospital, or you need assistance walking across the street. I don't want that for anybody. But if that does happen to you, you better have income to pay for it. Because if you think the government is going to come save you, you're lying to yourself. You're going to have a miserable life. And the government is basically, our government's technically they're bankrupt because they have to print money to keep themselves afloat every month. People like you and I, we can't print money because we don't have enough to pay our bills. We go bankrupt. So what they do is they print more bills to pay their bills and devalue the currency, and then our costs become higher. Even though they're not really higher, the dollar is lower. It has less power. So you need more of them to buy a house. You need more of them to buy a car. You need more of them to buy groceries. It's the same groceries. The value of the groceries hasn't changed. It's the same value it's been for the past 100 years. What's changed is the dollar value. The dollar is only worth a nickel what it was 40 years ago. So it can only buy a fraction of the groceries it used to. So now you need more of these dollars. And these wealth gaps that we're seeing in America, where people are very, very wealthy because they bought assets, and the others that didn't, they consumed, they did not buy assets. That's where you're seeing the wealth gap, because the government will devalue your currency. And if you're a consumer and you take all your money in and you spend all your money on consumable items and not assets, that number won't, those consumables don't become more valuable later. They're just, you consume them. And you now have to go out into the world and generate more income with your time and energy and do it and rinse and repeat. But if you pull out of that puzzle, that little rotation of money in, money out, and every time you go out into the world and make money, you take a small stipend for yourself and pay yourself first and multiply that money, and you build assets with that money, over time, you will have enough assets to sustain you in life, and it will cover you for all your expenses. You don't have to you don't need to be a billionaire. You just need enough money coming in every month, adjusted for inflation, that will cover your expenses. And then I say, yeah, but expenses, inflation, things are going to get more and more expensive. I said, yes, that's true. But so will your income go up with it, because rents go up. Dividends, they go up. Royalties go up. There's things that go up along with your expenses. So you don't worry about that. Now, if you're just buying bonds, and bonds have a fixed number, basically you're being paid back interest on a debt with devalued dollars over time. So I wouldn't advocate for bonds, although having bonds in your plan is perfectly okay, because bonds are liquid. They can be sold on the open market and converted back into cash very easily, because they are an income stream. And they're great for short term. I tend to advocate for short-term bonds because there's less inflation risk and less interest rate risk on those versus long-term bonds, which if you lock into a long-term bond at, say, 4%, you're locked in for 30 years, and then rates go up to, say, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%, and you're locked in at 3%, the only way you could sell that bond is if you sold it at a discount. And why would you have to sell at a discount? Because no one's going to buy your bond for $1,000 when they can go buy this $1,000 bond and get 8 cents on the dollar when you're only given 3 cents on the dollar. No one's going to do that. So you have to discount your bond to equal a rate of return that's equal to that $1,000 bond paying 8 cents on the dollar. So I don't advocate for investing in debt. However, it does have a place in your portfolio because it is a steady stream of income, typically paid. Most bonds pay every 6 months. But if you're a mortgage, lending money on mortgages or lending money short term, you can get monthly. But again, it's all about who you're lending to. You got to treat those loans just like you would treat an investment. But rents go up over time. And the rents and the expenses for the asset go up, but hopefully the spread on your asset is also going up and it's covering the inflationary costs. And so basically, the whole premise of the commandment is to buy assets a little at a time at first and more as your income grows. And I would caution people to not let their consumption increase as their income increases. There's no reason to increase your consumption because you're trying to prove something to the guy across the street. Do you have a nicer car? You got a nicer house? Got a nicer lawn? I don't care. Future you is more important than how you look today. As long as you can feed yourself and as long as you have shelter, you're good. And you can make that standard for yourself. And I'm not telling anyone how to live their life. I'm simply saying, put this into perspective, because the more you can save now to buy assets that will pay for things in the future, the sooner you do not have to work for money. The sooner you do not have to work for money, because those assets will now sustain you. And now you can do whatever you want. You can do this. Most people, and I tell them, and I can show them how, you can start building up assets, and in 20 years, if you're 20 years old, by the time you're 40, you're done. You're done. I've seen people do it even faster because they live on the bare minimum for like 10 years, and they put all of their extra wealth into buying assets and making investments. And then they all of a sudden have this big pile of treasure that pays them monthly. And now they're like, hey, we don't need to work anymore. We got enough money coming in to cover our expenses. If we want to build this pile, we can, so we can have even cooler stuff. You can do that. But once you get to your goal, what you want your life to look like when you don't want to work anymore, and you're living in a place you want to live, and you have the money to do the things you want to do, and once you've mapped out those costs, once your assets start paying you that amount of money every month, you're good. You're gone. You're done. You're done. Go live your life now. Stop working for other people. Stop the grind. You're done. Go live your life once you hit that target. And some people have pretty lofty goals, and I'm not telling anyone not to go for it. I encourage entrepreneurs to go for it. Go be a billionaire. Go be 10 billionaire, a decabillionaire, or whatever. Like, I think Warren Buffett's worth $186 billion. He's built that up over 60 years of investing. He's actually no longer than that. His first stock trade was when he was 13 years old. And his sister was going to beat him up because he thought he was going to lose. She thought he was going to lose his money. And he's still investing to this. He's still the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. Yeah. At the age of 93. He's still the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway at 93 and the chairman of the board.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be, but that's what he loves to do. Yeah. I don't got a problem. Do what you love doing till the day you die. I encourage that. But if
that's one of the goals, is to be able to be an entrepreneur or working for an entrepreneur, to be able to not want to retire because what you're doing every day you're enjoying so much to do.
Yeah, you get up and do it regardless for free. You do it for free.
Like most entrepreneurs, I don't sleep enough. So the hours that I do sleep need to be of better quality. The 8 Sleep Pod, it has been a game changer for me. Perfect temperature all night, less snoring, and I actually wake up refreshed. And my wife does as well, which is a huge plus. Happy wife, happy life. You can try it through my affiliate link below. Now we go back to the episode.
And that's actually a good litmus test. If you want to know what it is that you like doing and you want to do to make money, if you would get up every day and you're excited to get up to go do that thing every day, and you're not going to get paid to do it, but you'll do it anyway, you're doing exactly what you should be doing, and eventually it will monetize and you will make money. It's just, a lot of times people get stuck in these high-paying jobs and they hate it, but they're making so much money they don't want to leave it, and they hate that job. I'm making $250 a year. $250. I can go do what I want to do and make $125, but I've give up. Don't let money control you. You control the money. What's important is your life. You are what's important. The money can buy you nice cars, can buy you nice homes, jewelry, watches, cool stuff to make you look great. And I'm all for it. Hey, if that's what you want, man, do it. Do it. Do your thing. But don't go out of your way making yourself miserable for those things. You know, get to a point in your life where you're happy doing what you do. I would love to have more money. I do. Am I comfortable? Yeah. I don't have to worry about it. But I would like to play golf every single day, but, you know, golf's expensive. So once a week fits in my budget based on the way I have things set up. So it's really, every individual should write out their plan, what they want their world to look like when they're 40 years old. If you're 20, think the next 20 years. Whatever your age is, add 20 to it, and then write out what you want it to look like in 20 years. What are you doing? Who are you hanging out with? Where are you at? You know, what are you eating? You know, to describe the meals you're eating and who you're with, who you're married to, or maybe you're not married and you just have tons of friends, and maybe you just want to play guitar with your buddies on Saturday night, just get a jam session together, and that makes you happy. I say do that, man. Just know what it is and then work towards it and start buying assets that will fund that for you. And it doesn't matter what the asset is as long as it brings in money every month. What do you think?
They say money doesn't grow on trees, but if you work your money correctly, you pay yourself first for your future use, you're basically planting seeds, and then you'll be able to make that tree, your money tree, and then you'll have your money grow because you're getting your dividends, which will be your fruits of your labor.
Yep.
One mindset change I want to change in the commandments of wealth is don't provide income for when you can't work anymore, but provide income when you don't want to work anymore, when you want to get to the point you don't have to work anymore, and you can have the freedom to go wherever you want and not have to worry for your boss, your clients to determine what you're doing or where you're at.
Well said, Edgar. That is poetry right there, brother. Not about just I can't work anymore. I don't want to work anymore.
Exactly, because you want to be able to enjoy yourself. Yeah. And then remember that when you have a job stands for just over broke.
I think I heard that once long ago, but I forgot about that one. This is actually funny.
Yeah.
Just over broke.
Yep. Remember, you got your just over broke. Because you're mostly going to start getting comfortable and start raising your expenses to that and things. Well, I mean, one of the ways to save money is when you're buying stuff, especially like electronics. People are going to go and change it often, like cell phones and just devices, because things improve. Don't go buy like the most expensive case for it, because you're only going to use that case, even if it's like a leather case that can last forever, a designer case. Once you change devices, it's most likely not going to fit there anymore. So that's a savings you can do right there.
It's there's all kinds of savings tips out there. But the main thing is understand before you spend a dollar. Do I really need this? But because I really want to do is do what I want to do by the time I'm 35 years old. If I'm 20, that's what I really want. So do I really want this nice, cool thing now, today? Will it make my life better? Will it get me more chicks? I don't know. So those are all sorts of things you have to think about. Is this dollar spent on this worth it? I could put it over here and buy an asset that will pay me, 18 cents on the dollar. And that might be of use to me.
Definitely. And one thing we're saying is, the way I'm reading is, don't think about saving. Think about investing. Don't ever say, I'm going to save up to this.
Yes.
Learn how to invest what you're going to do and learn how to make more money to get to what you do. Savings not going to make you rich.
Nope.
We're wealthy.
Savings, well, not. You're right. Edgar, you're absolutely right. Savings, what are you getting at a bank account nowadays? The 2.5% or something?
If you get a big bank, it's like 0.01%. So if you go like a high yield bank account, like Ally, affiliate link below, referral link below, you can get like 3%, 4%, depending on the current interest rates. I was getting like 4.25% at a time.
There's zero value in that for me. 4% would take. There's a rule of 72, by the way. Here's the thing. The rule of 72 basically says, take the interest rate that you're getting paid. In the case, I'll use Allied Bank's rate of, say, 4%. Take the number 72, divide it by that 4, and whatever the result is how long it will take in years for that money to double. And if that number is not 4, meaning not 4 that divide into 72, but the result is not at least 4, I'm not doing that deal. Just not doing it.
Yeah, good way to look at it. Good rule of thumb for you. And everybody has their expectations, their standards, and limits. Mr. Allen Foster's, he wants to double his money every 4 years.
Yeah.
He's okay with that. I'm pretty sure he'd do it every 4 months if he could.
Oh,
But,
I can double it in a year. I've done it. I mean, I've doubled it in a year. I just the minimum that I will accept is a double every 4 years. So and that works out to about 18.9% or something, 18.89 or something like that. Return annualized. That works
Excellent
out.
rate of return there. So remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're not financial advisors. This is not legal advice. You do your due diligence, follow up to make sure that what we're saying is something that will work for you. Hey, if you do want Mr. Foster to play golf and you want to play golf with him, drop a comment below. He'll have a fee, and you can go golf with him.
Oh
So
yeah.
he can teach you.
I'll let
he
you
can
win.
make money,
I'll let you
and
win.
he can. Hey, this guy's golfed at Pebble Beach, so you know he's pretty
Yeah, I
good.
did. Pebble Beach, but did you play that day we played at Pebble Beach?
I didn't go, no.
Oh man, I had no idea California could be that cold in June. It was cold.
Oh, that wind, yeah.
Oh,
But it's beautiful.
man.
I love
It was like dead winter in June in California at Monterey. I had no idea. I did not dress properly for it. So something to do with the winds that they get there, that type of weather pattern in that part of California. It's they say that's normal for there. I'm like, what?
Yeah, all the
50
wind coming
degrees
from
in
the
June?
ocean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
It was cold, and it was below 50 at one point.
yeah, I think that day I went to, they had the June gloom. So that big old overcast that came in,
Yep.
and it was just cloudy.
Yeah.
I was driving down the road to Big Sur, and we saw that big old wall of clouds coming in. It was pretty cool, seeing the sun, super sunny day, and then seeing those clouds come in, and it just got foggy for the next couple of days.
Yeah, it was. Here's the interesting thing. As soon as I left the coast where we played golf and went inland a little bit, it was like 90 degrees. I said, what? Just being on the coast. I had no idea these weather patterns in California were that diverse.
Geography, yeah, geography. Yeah. So drop a comment, play some golf with Alan, so he can place more often. Get some money there as well. Get some financial entertainment from him while you're golfing.
Financial
Give you his
entertainment.
tips. Yeah, and you can see where he's investing, so you can invest as well, and maybe double your money in a year like he did. Again, for entertainment purposes only. Hey, if you like these episodes, drop a comment below. Let us know. Remember, give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. You can also see his episode on Dream Start On podcast, where we went deep down and talked about the haunted house, the haunted flip, where his electricity had to get redone multiple times.
It's true. Flips can be haunted.
Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Foster, for these episodes, for dropping these knowledge bombs. If we
My
get enough
pleasure.
comments, we might do one more, or we'll do a lot more. So let's see. You let
Yeah.
us know what you like.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Edgar. I'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. And we'll see you on the next episode. Later. Catch this next podcast where you can start your dreams and start to own your time the way these other guests have.